Busy programme of races here at PF International for the 2024 FIA Karting World Championships. 10 laps to decide this one. Flying, let's take you through the grid for this one. On pole position, the number 67 of Ethan Jeff Hall, racing for the CRG Works team. Alongside him on the front row, another Works driver, this time for Kart Republic, Noah Montero in the number 9, will be looking to get another win for KR. Alexander Bondarev and Scott Lindblom go from the second row of the grid. Reigning FIA Karting European and World OK Junior champion Dries van Langendonk starts on row 3 alongside the ever-impressive Matthew Higgins for Energy this weekend. Joseph Smith and Matt Corby on row 4. Sebastian Coppeng had a retirement from the previous race, starts on row 5 alongside Hugh Capot. Salim Hanar and Oscar Repetto will look to move forward from the 6th row of the grid. Emily Koivisto and Mateus Morgado, world champion 2 years ago, start on row 7. Jacob Mikulev and Elliot Kaczynski start on row 8. They're ahead of Mark Dimnitsky and Gus Lawrence. Gus Lawrence, the local driver here, has won many a championship and race around this place. He starts this one from row 9. Stylianos Kolovos and Enzo Nienkotter start on row 10. Tiziano Monza has raced well, is going to start on the 11th row of the grid for this one, and is joined by Ludovico Busso. Nico Lachmalate and Austin Gale go from row 12. Anatoly Kovalkin and Luis Francis start on row 13, ahead of Levi Arn and Hao Xiandeng on row 14. Maria Neto and Peter Stiller completes the top 30 there on row 15. Maxi Rafalik and Harry Cottrell have it all to do from the 16th row of the grid. It's a 33 kart field completed by Archie Tillett on the 17th and last row of the grid. Radek Vavra is a non-starter. There's a quick sight into race control here at PF International. Head of race control for this weekend, Chris Lambrecht in the centre, flanked by Joanna Falcao and David Manchester. All of our team know this circuit very well indeed. They've got their eyes over a huge bank of cameras. Every single square inch of this PF International circuit is covered by those cameras. There is not a single thing that they do not miss as a team. They're in constant communication with the team out there on track, led by race director Nigel Edwards. Pasquale Lupoli, deputy race director, out there as well with Gonzalo Planta, judge of facts. Here we go then, into the tram lines. Once again, eyes on the lights. They go out, we're racing again in OK. Good start for those on the pole side of the grid. Jeff Hall takes the advantage from pole position. Bondarev straight up into second place. I think Van Langendonk has also hopped to third. Yes, the junior champion has. Montero down to 4th. They're all wrestling with one another over the Litchfield Bridge, down into hairpin 1 for the first time. Steady start there for the seniors, Anthony Jordan.
It certainly is, yeah, nice little getaway, and it is always nice to see these sort of races, but at the moment, Bondarev still piling on that pressure to our race leader in this one, Ethan Jeff Hall. A little bit tighter on the entry in towards hairpin number 2 there, but just settles back down and holds on to second place. Still close running there. Van Langendonk in third, looking very strong. And the rest of the field as well. You can see there Higgins in the order. That energy course, he's pushing in strong now. He's had good results, and he has certainly been one to watch here in the senior category.
Yeah, he's had some really good speed. Oh, I tell you who's got good speed. Dries van Langendonk down the inside with ease to take second place away from Alexander Bondarev. Beautiful move from Dries van Langendonk there, and down the inside Montero looks for third place and has got it. Joseph Smith is going to step through as well. He had a retirement due to a mechanical failure earlier on today. It's looked good. The speed's been good for Joseph Smith so far in this World Championship.
Certainly has, and he stays right there at the moment behind Noah Montero. Doesn't go for the move just yet. Be curious to know what happened to his kart earlier on, where he pulled off the circuit. Bit of a shame for him on that one, but it seems to be all working now, and he's not lost any hope in this one. He's there, up 3 places, so he's had a pretty decent start in this one, not piling on too much pressure right now from the rest of the field. Got to say, after the lunch break, these drivers seem to have simmered it down just a little bit right now. We saw some feisty racing earlier on, but now I think they're just starting to think sensible races. They're thinking, right, just get to the end of this one. There in the points, you can see Ethan Jeff Hall with a win here would make him lead the intermediate classifications. That may change later, though, as down the inside in the background, I think Matt Corby tried to go for a move there on Scott Lindblom off the bridge. Not sure how well that ended, but it certainly looked like Matt Corby got ahead of him there.
We're always trying to keep on top of all of the different stories through all the heats and all the judicials. There is a key one to let folks know about. The eagle-eyed amongst you may be noticing, hang on a minute, how come Matthew Higgins is now behind Ethan Jeff Hall in the intermediate classification? Go back to the last race. Matthew Higgins received a post-race 5-second time penalty that dropped him down the order in that one to 6th place. So that is what's turned it round at the moment, with Ethan Jeff Hall leading this one. The point swing as things stand in this heat would mean that Ethan Jeff Hall will be jumping past Matthew Higgins at this stage of the competition. Further down the order, good moves from Mark Dubnitsky, up 5 places. I wonder, is that a kart that's got some new tyres on it for the CRG number 31? Anatoly Khavalkin is also on the move. He's up 8 places, now in 17th.
I've got to say, yes, on my walk down to do that interview with Kenzo Craigie earlier, I did take a spotting look at some karts, and there's quite a few with brand new boots on it. So yes, we have got into that phase of the weekend now. Drivers are not getting desperate, but they're thinking, right, we need to gain places now. We can't be messing around at the back of the grid anymore.
Well, sometimes it's the lowest risk thing to do, is, you know, get those new tyres on, race sensibly, take the advantage that you're going to get from them, because you know at this stage that not everybody is going to go for them. Yes, you'll have to have a little bit of a tough time later on in the in these heats and maybe the super heats tomorrow, but you know that's future drivers' problem. Let's get some points on the board. That's the thinking behind those going for the change now. We're on lap 5. Ethan Jeff Hall looking at a good rhythm here, 3.5 tenths clear of Dries van Langendonk for the lead.
It's a good rhythm, but it's a rhythm that I think is at risk right now, because he's not broken away from Van Langendonk, Montero or Smith. If anything, they've closed up a little bit and are starting to reel in Jeff Hall. And when you have only one driver closing in on a race leader, it's like, okay, that's a worry, but it's not the end of the world. We might have to deal with one driver. But when you've got 3 others there trying to close in, this is where it starts, okay, this is risky, because now if one makes the move, then the others make the move. And then I go backwards even further, and then before you realise it, you're in P10, and then you're like scoring no points, or far too many points that you want to be scoring. But at the moment, it's all fine. Like you were saying, he's holding the gap, but it's still a risky one.
Montero close to Dries van Langendonk off of the bridge. Don't think he's close enough to get down the inside. You see Scott Lindblom's making some progress out there. He's got past Matthew Higgins for 6th place. Matthew Higgins, just wondered, well, we did wonder about this yesterday, and we've been talking about the setup choices and how you always have to have a bit of a compromise round this circuit in some way, shape or form, and that whether the Energy Corsa with its lightning speed on the straights was maybe going to suffer a little bit on tyres in the twistier parts of Sector 2 and Sector 3. It's the first time that just the body language of Higgins' kart, I see him going backwards and not forwards at this stage.
Yeah, exactly. But again, it's well, it's not early doors. It's quite on in the weekend at the moment. But again, they've just got to think long game at this point of the weekend. Out to the literal bridge, then they go. Still Ethan Jeff Hall, but here comes Noah Montero. This is the closest he's been to Van Langendonk. Not going for the move this time, but he may think, if I start losing time behind you, I'll go for the move, and he's going to go for that move down at hairpin number 2. No drama, no time wasted whatsoever, no drama whatsoever. Gets up into 2nd place. The gap opens up a little bit, but again, Van Langendonk didn't retaliate to that, which means they didn't lose too much time, and it means that they're probably thinking, let's work together, let's close in on a Jeff Hall, because the timer is running out. It's not running out at a long rate. Now here, Joseph Smith could have the chance of getting past. If they feel like Dries van Langendonk is holding them up, they will go for the move, but nothing just yet. Maybe onto the banking. No, thinks against it. Again, you can lose a lot of time there on the banking, purely because it's such a fast corner.
Yellow flags are out for something through to the first couple of turns. In fact, no, we've gone slow procedure. We've gone to a slow procedure. Not sure what it is for, but the most important thing is that the field is now neutralised. Just wondering if there's anybody who's fallen down the order. Emily Koivisto has fallen down the order, Anthony, down to 33rd place. Would be the first retirement from this race. This could be very good news for Ethan Jeff Hall, because whilst the turnarounds on the slow procedures have been pretty quick, we're already on lap 8. This could be the end of the race, or we'll only get one more lap of green?
Well, we'll have to see what happens. Of course, yes, like you were saying, the only driver who has gone down on our grid is Emilio Koivisto. We're not sure of the situation at the moment, but like you were saying, the track has gone slow procedure. And yes, you are bang on. This is good news for Ethan Jeff Hall. No one can overtake him. The only downside that he's got is that he's lost any sort of lead that he would have had initially on this one. Now we are on lap 9 of 10. There is Emilio Koivisto in the hands of one of the medical crews, and that looks to be, like of course, Gonzalo Planta, or Judge of Facts, I should say, Gonzalo Planta, and he's got a bit of a limp on there, so hopefully Emilio Koivisto is all okay, and we see him out later on today, but certainly that's a bit of a shake-up here. Now, yes, we'll be going on to the last lap this time, and we're not seeing any green flags out of yet, and oh dear me, just in the nick of time there, the camera pans around and just sees Emilio Koivisto going heavy into the wall there at Bobby Game Corner. Not sure if assisted there or was just under own steam, but that is a big heavy hit there into the barriers, and well, hopefully again he is okay. We exit out of Pitts Bend, back onto the start-finish straight, and still waved yellows going on to the last lap of this race. So it's never a nice way of seeing a race end, but nevertheless, that would mean that Ethan Jeff Hall would claim this race win ahead of Noah Montero, and that's a little bit taken away the chance of Montero to get that position done, but for Ethan Jeff Hall, he can claim that one, and of course, because of the race not ending at all, we will see the checkered flag, but it will be under effectively what is deemed as a safety car procedure in the world of car racing, but in the world of karting, this is a slow procedure, the whole race being neutralized, no overtaking permitted as the field makes its way back around. So then it would mean that Ethan Jeff Hall would lead the intermediate classifications, 215 points to his name ahead of Joe Turney's 200 points. But remember, Turney at this moment in time is undefeated. Matthew Higgins third ahead of Dorisan Langendonk Montero, fifth in the intermediate classifications. But as the checker flag comes out, at the same time as the yellows, it is Ethan Jeff Hall who takes the win ahead of Noah Montero. Dorisan Langendonk finishes in third place ahead of Joseph Smith. Matt Corby finishes in P5 ahead of Scott Lindblom. Matthew Higgins from Alexander Bondarev. Yukapo from Mark Dubnitsky. Matthias Morgato. Salim Hanar, Oscar Repetto, Elliot Kaczynski, and Anatoly Kavalkin finishing in P15. That was a good race there for Kavalkin. 10 places gained and finishes inside that top 15. Well, there the drivers will make their way back into Parc Ferme. We will head down there and chat to I assume race winner from that one, Ethan Jeff Hall, in a few moments' time. Andrew Mather heading down there as we speak. There is a look at the provisional classifications at the end of that one, the top 15 we have gone over. You can see they're separated by 4.5 seconds at the end. That would have been assisted by the slow procedure. Jakob Mikulev finishing in 16th place ahead of Gus Lawrence. Luis Francis from Tiziano Monza. Sebastian Korpeng finishing in 20th place ahead of Stilianos Kolovos. Maria Neto ahead of Austin Gale. Enzo Ninkota from Maximilian Rafalik. Henry Cottrell from Leve Arden. And it's Peter Stiller from Ludovico Busso from Hutiandeng.